And so I'll read you guys some of the stuff that, like the events that'll be affected and what. So, I mean, the article is headlined, DGPT adjusts schedule and media plans to protect competitive fairness and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be something that's a little harder to talk about than typical. The DGPT has decided to either move the events or cancel them from the Pro Tour, awarding the FPO players no points. So I'm going to go over that, go over the Pro Tour's stance, the players' stance on what I've seen so far. Again, and I'm not a FPO player. I'm not trying to speak for them. I'm not trying to exemplify anything that they're saying or feeling and anything like that. I'm just trying to share the news to you guys and how people are feeling about it and stuff like that. So, as we, whatever know, it's been kind of a tough go in FPO, and legal fees and all that type of stuff. I know that through the grapevine, there's been, hundreds and, of thousands of dollars spent to defend the FPO division. So, I mean, obviously they're probably, rightfully so, tired of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to, defend the division. So I understand their decision in a sense. Obviously, I mean, the Pro Tour theoretically owes us nothing. The fact that they, run these events and do these events and have a full-time, I'm pretty sure 40-plus person staff there to set up the course, break down the course, volunteers, all that stuff. And we are playing their venue. We are playing at their discretion. We are playing because, the Todd and the other people of Disc Golf Pro Tour, are working hard for us. So, I mean, that we don't owe them, they don't owe us anything. So, the fact that they're doing this sucks for FPO. And sucks for the fans. I mean, it sucks for people who want to watch, these players compete and play and, a battle out there. And, I mean, even myself, I enjoy watching. So, it's definitely going to be a bummer to not be able to enjoy that content, but also I can understand, I guess, why the DGPT is kind of done with the fight or the battle. And so I'll read you guys some of the stuff that, like the events that'll be affected and what. So, I mean, the article is headlined, DGPT adjusts schedule and media plans to protect competitive fairness in FPO division. So, it's not really, it just, to them, they're viewing this as just a fairness thing. Obviously, it's not they're not trying to exclude anybody. As far as I believe and know to be true, nobody is being targeted here. And so I'm going to just go through the events. So Mid-America Open, no changes currently planned. Discraft Ledgestone, Elite Plus event, the FPO division at Discraft's Ledgestone in Peoria, Illinois has been canceled. The FPO event or a separate FPO-only DGPT Elite Plus event will be, with a different name, is likely to be rescheduled in a nearby state the same week. The DGPT intends to provide standard live and post-production coverage of the event is rescheduled somewhere else and optimistic about re-implementing a replacement. So, didn't cancel it, but took it away from the men. And what's important about that is a decent amount of the FPO players, obviously, travel with their male companion. So, separating the men and the women obviously, puts the women in a place where, one, I think the easy solution would be them traveling together. Them all going to the event together. But I do see the logistical standpoint of, now ex-FPO player doesn't have house or van or whatever because the MPO player has it, and maybe those two, that couple, can decide, who gets the van what week, whatever. And I'm not trying to like make light or make a joke of this, but like, I do see obviously like, if I lost my RV for the week, I would probably be a little out of sorts, but also I'm sure I could hit up, AB or Adam or someone like that and find a way to still compete in the event. So that's the first like logistical problem that I'm seeing. And then Idlewild, no changes planned. Discraft Great Lakes Open, again, has been canceled for FPO. Again, a nearby event with a different name is likely to be rescheduled. And then American Flying Disc Open, no longer be a DGPT event. Will not award DGPT points. The MPO side of the tournament is planned to proceed as normal and will award points at the silver level. The DGPT plans to continue with broadcast plans, whatever. And then Discmania Open, FPO division no longer be a DGPT event and will not award DGPT points. MVP Open, the playoff, will be canceled for FPO and will only offer MPO at this tournament. The DGPT is working hard to reschedule a new FPO-only Disc Golf Pro Tour playoff event. And then Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, no events are currently planned to change. So, for me, it's not my division. It's not my thing. So I'm not like sharing my opinion on this. Obviously, the Pro Tour and their staff finds the fairness of competition. And I'm using these because these aren't my words. I'm phrasing back to what their article says. But so I don't know. It's a weird situation. I understand the FPO being upset. I understand, the Pro Tour having to make a decision because, like I said, somewhat in my opinion, when it comes to this, spending the Disc Golf Pro Tour spending $100 and something thousand every single lawsuit to protect the division is money that we could all be playing for, not just the MPO but also FPO. So the more times we're having the Pro Tour expunge this money to defend this, the less money we theoretically have to pay for. Obviously, it's in the budget. The Pro Tours, they're not going to go bankrupt because they're doing this, but it's something that we could be playing for that money that's instead being used for legal fees. So part of me really understands why the Pro Tour is like done with this. And as a player on the other side, I've been saying for a while, like, hey, like, if we're going to use, a pretty good amount of, like, tour funds to defend this, then, it seems unfair. And it also seems, that they're riding the line of fairness for the women that are playing. And they are, sticking to it, obviously to the point of canceling events, moving events, changing events. There's FPO players that are probably hoping to make a deep push, this end of the season to get some points, and now it looks like they're going to maybe lose that opportunity. And again, do I know? I personally don't run the Pro Tour. I don't know the right decision. I don't know the right thing to do here. But I think that this might be honestly a good first step to kind of say, hey, look, like, if we're gonna have to just keep shelling out, hundreds of thousands of dollars, we're just gonna like literally cancel that event in that area. And I think that maybe this will help the women who agree stand up. Maybe it's gonna help the women be there and say, hey, listen, like, we don't want to lose the event. Like, we're going to stand up for this. And then, obviously, the women that do agree, maybe this will be a good time for them to come out and make their stance. And, I know Brody with Tour Life and Yuli, they've asked the FPO players, that agree with what's going on to voice their opinion and come out and say, hey, like, this is why I agree, or this is why I think that, XYZ player should be in the event. And I don't think anyone's taken advantage of that yet. And again, they don't have to. I mean, everyone can have their opinion, and we can all, agree to disagree or disagree, whatever it might be. I mean, no one knows anybody really an explanation. But, I think that this might divide the FPO division even more the people that are against, this are going to be really upset that they're losing events, and people for this are going to be really upset they're losing events. And at the end of the day, the Disc Golf Pro Tour is just chalking it up to fair competition, and they're, willing to move the event or change the event in order to ensure that the FPO women have fair competition. And again, at the end of the day, my opinion, your opinion, ex-FPO player's opinion, doesn't matter. The Pro Tour is the body we play under. They're the ones that pay us at the end of the month. We sign up for their events. We're under their media policy. So whatever they do, either you play or you don't play. So there's a lot that goes into this. Disc Golf Pro Tour standing up is a pretty big thing. And obviously making their stance pretty well known in the sense of they're willing to scrap like their schedule that they created in order to prove this point. Hopefully that out of this we gain some type of clarity. Hopefully this maybe resolves something. I just hope we don't do this and then we end up like next season this is just the same thing over again, because then what's going to happen, as we've shown, is that the FPO is going to go through this again. So if it's 6 events that are affected, in order to implement change and make a stance for next year or the next 50 years or whatever, then I could see the FPO sitting these out or dealing with tougher travel situations and stuff in order to get to the next place and be like, okay, hey, it's a small sacrifice, depending on what side you're on, and we'll get through this. I just hope that it doesn't divide the division more. What I've been hearing is people on the course, an FPO who are for it or against it. Those people who are obviously on the opposing side, they aren't getting along that well. From what I'm obviously not out there playing, but from what I'm hearing from the players, is that it's created a pretty big divide in the FPO division. So hopefully, if nothing else, everyone, Disc Golf Pro Tour, the FPO players can come to a conclusion, can come to something that they all can agree on. And hopefully the FPO can get back to scheduled programming, get back to being at the same places as the men. And hey, maybe they realize that the galleries for them are bigger and more people are watching if they're separated. So maybe this is a test trial run that ends up working out great for them, and they end up having their own huge tour and their own the women's side of the DGPT. I mean, obviously there's women's tennis that's separate. There's a lot of stuff that is separated. The LPGA Tour and the PGA Tour don't play at the same place every week. So maybe there's something to this. I'm just trying to find the positive for the women in the standpoint of, maybe this little travel hiccup is going to actually be possibly the future of their tour. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is just my thoughts on the thing. Again, Disc Golf Pro Tour is labeling this as just pretty much a fairness act. Just wanted to keep you guys informed on what's going on. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.